Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with ESPN reporting Anthony Joshua now to be trained by Robert Garcia. So see here on screen Mike Coppinger of ESPN saying he will train with Garcia, and that will be for the heavyweight title rematch versus Alexander Usyk, July 23 in Saudi Arabia. Sources tell ESPN Garcia, an ex-champ and trainer of the year, is revered for his game plans. AJ was trained by Rob McCracken since his pro debut. And you can see in this one here, it's got a graphic of the two pictured together. So not necessarily a huge shock that Robert Garcia is going to be the trainer, because he was among a handful of trainers that Joshua did visit late in 2021 when he was looking around potentially for a new trainer and just to sort of see what options were out there. So others included Virgil Hunter, there was Eddie Reynoso as well. So this is in line, I guess, because Robert Garcia fighters generally quite aggressive. It's in line with Joshua's sort of school of thought that he wants to employ for that rematch with Usyk. Come forward, let his punches go, and that'll sort of fit into that Robert Garcia school of training. He does have good pressure fighters, come forward fighters. But I guess the question that I do have with this, if this is in fact confirmed, Joshua, from what I've seen so far, hasn't confirmed this, but obviously ESPN has gone big on this. Can Robert Garcia translate his success? He's had all manner of world champions, but generally at the lower weights, 147 and below. Can he replicate his training success with those lower weight fighters with a heavyweight? Because I was thinking, off the top of my head, who is he training right now that's at heavyweight? The only one I could sort of think of off the top of the dome was Antonio Moriles, who is the top rank prospect. And obviously he's done pretty much nothing at this point. But Joshua and Garcia seems like it could be a good combination, but I guess time will tell. Moving on, Eddie Hearn has confirmed, and this is to IFL TV, and you can see here re-reported by Michael Benson and now re-reported by me, that the site deal has been finalized for the fight to take place in Saudi Arabia. Not a great shock. I mean, obviously they're throwing money at the fight, so I think people just expected it would land there. Boxer and Sky Sports have confirmed Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter is going to go ahead, confirmed for Saturday the 2nd of July at the Manchester Arena, or the AO Arena in Manchester, I should say. I had read elsewhere that this was going to be a WBA eliminator, final eliminator, as it says here, but they've actually got WBO there. So maybe that's just a typo on the Boxer page. But the press release which they have issued, a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line when world-class heavyweights Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter collide at AO Arena on Manchester on Saturday, July 2nd. So it talks about priority access, blah. And then about the fighters. We won't go so much into that. There's a few other bits and pieces that I want to get to, but I'm just not clear. Is this WBA or is it WBO, as this actually says on this page on the Boxer website? Surely that's a typo. Hunter, ranked highly, number 2 in the WBA at this point, must be for that. But is it for the super champion or is it for the regular title? Because if it is winner of Daniel Dubois and Trevor Bryan faces the winner of this fight, I like that. I think that's a good matchup. And this matchup is a good matchup, but I do think maybe the style sort of matchup maybe won't mesh. There's a potential for it to kind of, the action to maybe not be as exciting as some would hope, but it is going to be a tactical battle because Michael Hunter, he's got the height and reach disadvantages. You've got Hughie Fury, who knows how to box well from the outside, likes to sling in that right hand. He has been trying to be a bit more of an exciting fighter in some of his more recent fights, been trying to be more aggressive. He's trying to sort of meld the best of both worlds. He's kind of either been all-out aggression or a bit too sort of laid back. He's trying to come up with some sort of happy medium, and Hunter is the perfect opposition to sort of really implement that game plan, because obviously at a higher level, fighting for titles against the top 2, 3, 4 guys in the division, you're going to need to really have your style all worked out. You can't be betwixt and between, as Hughie Fury sometimes has seemed. But Hunter is no joke. As we know, he's been a guy that's got some decent wins in the past few years. Martin Bacoli back in the end of 2018. That's certainly aging well, that win. But he obviously got a lot of credit for that. More recently, though, he's looked a little disappointing, a little bit flat. Against Jerry Forrest, he escaped with a draw. Arguably, he lost. So he's going to need to come back, perform, be at his best, because Hughie Fury, behind the back of the jab and slinging that right hand, he can certainly make it awkward and tricky for Michael Hunter, who's going to need to, use that in and out style to sort of, pick up some points here. He's going, I don't expect he's going to stop a guy like Hughie Fury, who's got a really good chin, who's got the height and the reach. He's going to need to have a good game plan. But I do think this is a good fight, 50-50 sort of fight, which is really good to see. So moving on to Hughie Fury and his statement on social media, he says, can't wait for July 2nd, thanks to Hennessy Sports, that's his promoter, and Boxer and Sky Sports Boxing. So he's co-promoted between Hennessy and Boxer. He says, make sure to tune in. Peter Fury says, big thank you to Boxer, Sky Sports Boxing for putting this fight together for the final eliminator, Fury v Hunter, and also biggest women's fight in history. Okay, we're not going to cover that. That's not a heavyweight fight. Hunter himself says, hunting season. Fight confirmed. WBA heavyweight world title final eliminator in major UK versus USA bout. Sign up, blah, 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 tickets, Boxer, yada, yada, yada. So he says it's for the WBA, it's a final eliminator, but I guess which belt? Is it the regular title or the super champion belt? It's a question. Then you have Michael Hunter commenting to Sky, he just can't punch. He's good. I think he's a decent boxer. He's got some decent skills. He's tall. He's long. He comes from the Fury family. The best thing we can say is he comes from a Fury family, a fighting family. That's the best thing I can see. I don't think he's a great puncher. When you say he's a technical boxer, that's what I see. It means he's just not a puncher. I'm excited to be over in England and display my skills. We're going to knock them down one by one. Hughie's first. He's in the way. I'm going for the belts. And anyone in my way, I've got to run them over. We know he can fight. Does he have the skills and determination to compete with me? I don't think so. Only one way to find out. And Hunter does, as I said, need a good bounce-back performance to get people believing that he's still a factor, still a guy that could compete potentially for titles. Because after the Jerry Forrest fight, which he looked pretty lackluster in, and obviously Kubrat Pulev just dominated Forrest in their fight. So Hunter's got the chance to come back and show us what he's all about. Meanwhile, he's been sparring with Jonnie Rice, and Rice says on social media, today we were sparring with Michael Hunter and trying to catch his jab, but I couldn't see it, and I'm still bothered by that. And Hunter thanks him down below, says thanks for the work. Also, more recently, I just thought I'd throw this in here, Hunter in the United States has had some rounds with Joyce. This was from, almost a couple of weeks ago now. Joyce saying, getting some great rounds in with Michael Bounty Hunter. So Joyce, Jonnie Rice, big guys, similar size to sort of Fury, probably got a little bit more pop on their right hand than Fury does. Good rounds for Hunter. And actually, I think Hunter, and you can see in this one, I think he's actually looking in pretty decent shape. And he will need to. He has looked in some fights a little bit fleshy, like the Forrest one. He's going to need to be in tip-top condition. Moving on to Hemi Ahio. So it looks, according to BoxRec, that he's got a new opponent for this week's fight that was meant to be against Joe Jones on the Kambosos Haney undercard. So now showing as the opponent as Christian Soy. And actually, I think that's a better opponent. Soy is a very tough and durable guy. He has never been stopped. He's obviously lost, but he's gone 10 rounds with Justice Huni, and he got a majority draw with Joe Goodall a couple of years ago. I think Goodall's improved since then, but this will be interesting for Hemi Ahio because he's going to probably need to work a bit to get a stoppage here if he can get one at all. He can't just rely on one punch. He's going to have to try it, break down the very durable soy. But as we know, Hemi Ahio does have some pop. He can crack. So we'll see what happens this week. If he does get a stoppage, that's a good statement for him. Still, I do think he should be fighting at a higher level than this at this stage of his career. The guy's been pro for, let's scroll down here, since 2013. And you're facing a guy with a 5-4-2 record 9 years on. Yeah, time to sort of step things up here. And rounding out this heavyweight news and notes mashup video, so Decaree Scott, who's on the Trevor Bryan Daniel Dubois undercard, he's getting some work in with Big Pharmacy Miller. So Mac Truck, as Decaree Scott calls himself, says solid rounds, working to get better every day. As we know, Miller looking to come back in June. He's going to be fighting on a Triller card. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.